Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Christina. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to another Monat video. I have upped the amount of Monat content lately. You probably have seen that for various reasons. Number one, it is really easy to get access to this type of content. It is really easy to snark on it. And I wanted to up the amount of Monat content that I'm doing right now because Monat, the multi-level marketing company, allegedly selling shampoo. I mean, they are, but people are not making money because they're primarily selling shampoo because Monat is tanking. And a lot of their leaders and a lot of their top distributors, they are struggling. And you can tell that there's a certain desperation because they're on social media a lot. One of the people in this live specifically is posting so much, it's insanity, and they're still pretending that Monat is a great business opportunity when in reality it is not. I have made a video, Monat Elite Part 2, where I speak very detailed about the reason why Monat is tanking. In short, Monat has lost in a period of a little bit over a year more than 50% of its distributors. It's affecting the company and it is affecting people like we will see today who are on their Instagram, who are considered leaders, who are at the top ranks, at the director ranks, and their downlines are crumbling. Their paychecks are crumbling, and potentially financially speaking, also their luxurious lives. Because if you are in a multi-level marketing company, then it is very much to your advantage to show how successful you are and what a lavish house you live. Lots of people have built houses based on the money they were able to make because of Monat, because of the people in their downline. And now that that is falling apart, their lifestyle is also ultimately falling apart. The fancy private schools they have for their children, the time freedom, the travel, the cars, all of that is a really pricey lifestyle. And I want to raise awareness by doing this as well for people who are interested or maybe want to do their research in Monat in this day and age to really take a closer look. Because Monat is not a great opportunity for the people that are joining now, but it is like a rescue anchor. I don't know the English word. The people at the top are struggling and they're trying to grasp on to every single person, trying to recruit people to keep their paycheck afloat. It is not about empowering an individual that joins Monat now. That is why I'm upping the amount of content on Monat at the moment. More content, different companies will come for sure. I have all of my contact information in the description box down below. If you would like to send me content from different companies, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much to the people who have done that. People have sent me content without any comment, without any note. If you have any notes, any information you would like to let me know, please add that there as well. And also let me know if you want to be mentioned or if you want to be kept anonymous. If there's no information in the content that you share with me, then I will keep you anonymous just to make sure that I'm not outing somebody who doesn't want to be mentioned on social media, who doesn't want to be mentioned on YouTube. But this is a call from Brittany Rose on her Instagram Live together with Lindsay Ortiz. These are two people that are pumping out the content, that are on social media still telling us how amazing Monat is. Before I start the actual live, I was able to record it. I was in the chat myself. I have a Snoopy account where I take a look at these people's content. I'm not doing that with my cdbeauty Hunter initials because that would be awkward. But this is my Snoopy account and I was live there and I was able to record this call. This was an Instagram Live on Brittany Rose's Instagram, and she at the moment when I screen recorded this Instagram Live had 47,900 followers on Instagram. The person she invited on this live is Lindsay Ortiz and she had 12,900 followers on Instagram. Why am I mentioning this? Please pay attention to the amount of people that are on this live. It must have been a weekday or a weekend, and it must have been in the afternoon in the United States. It was rather late where I was at, but that is the background to people who have over 60,000 subscribers being on an Instagram Live in the afternoon at a convenient time for people in their own time zone.
And here, why we joined, maybe why we were skeptics, what was holding us back, and what we've gained through this and why we're still here. So with that being said, let me get Miss Lindsay Ortiz on and let's see if she pops on. And you guys, my eye is still bad, so we're just living life this way.
How cute that we're twins.
Oh, we are twins. Oh my God.
I'm dying. That's so kind of get on and chat because just like Brittany said, we did go to Cabo together and we had so much fun. I joined about...
Okay, stopping already. This is such a weird starting point for this live. First of all, the Monat hat. I mean, you're wearing the Monat merch. That's a good job while you're on a Monat Instagram live. Brittany doesn't. And then we're starting right. You're not getting asked any questions. I mean, granted, I joined the Instagram live when it already started. Maybe Brittany was already given some background information, but this is like, whoa, steamrolling over you. Nice merch. Oh, you're not wearing any merch. Well, we met in Cabo. Where?
I would say a little over 3 years ago, so almost 3.5 years. And I remember like just knowing about Brittany, seeing Brittany, and just kind of like feeling her vibe was totally similar to like me. And from what like we've been able to do in such a short amount of time together has been so fun. And I don't know if we've ever done a live before, so I feel like this might be a long time coming.
I think it's been either a very, very long time or maybe this has never happened. So I'm super excited because so often you hear our stories maybe separately on our pages, but you never really get to, at least online, because I am not killing it like Lindsay is on her social, but I miss out on sharing all the stories that I get to soak in so often. I'm doing a disservice by not sharing those. So I said, okay, let's get on. I want to start sharing other people's stories, other people's successes, why they got into this and what they've gained and why they're still here. So
why they're still here? It's a weird way to phrase this, but I would like to know that as well. Why are you still there? Monat is sinking. Monat is tanking. Monat is drowning. And all of these people are trying to hold on to something. Lindsay, the person at the bottom, she is really posting. She's pumping out content. It is truly insanity. But I also do see more calls from Brittany Rose, where she's on her Instagram live together with her husband, for example, who clearly does not want to be on Instagram live, telling everybody their rags to riches stories. If you watch anti-MLM content, if you watch these people, if you watch Monat people, you will see that their stories and their Instagrams and their team calls and their opportunity calls, they're essentially very, very similar, if not the same. Now, their vulnerabilities and the background stories they have, they're different, but it's always the rags to riches stories. My life before Monat sucked. My family life was horrific, now it is great. My hair was horrific, now it is great. I was financially in debt, now my life is financially amazing. I was never able to travel out of my state, out of the country, now I travel all the time. I didn't have any idea about entrepreneurship, and now I'm my own boss babe, and I'm leading my own multi-million-dollar company. It's pretty much always the same story, but of course the background story of these individual people is different. So they're now combining forces a lot. I see that a lot on Monat. I see that a lot on Instagram. That's also why I have a good amount of Monat Instagram reaction calls, because they're really pumping out the content. But let's hear Lindsay's story.
With that being said, why don't you start with maybe the beginning of your story and I'll kind of tag along.
For sure. So I have been born and raised in an entrepreneur household. My dad, my family, they own their own business, which my entire family works there. My daughter actually just has her first job there this summer at 14. So 10 of my family members work for my family company. I tried to do the 9-to-5 thing from when I was a teenager and couldn't do it. So in high school, I knew there was no way that I was going to work for my family company. I don't think that my family loved it, but it just wasn't for my brain and it wasn't for my mind. And I was kind of the black sheep for a while, maybe still am. But I dove into the beauty world right when I got out of high school. I went into be an esthetician because I loved the freedom. I loved the thought of like creating my own schedule. I loved helping women in confidence and make them feel beautiful. So I think that was truly kind of like a God-given gift that I decided to like say no and continue my path. And it has not been the easiest road, but I know it's my passion and purpose behind like my belief in God and what I'm doing to continue to bless other people. And that's truly how I've always felt. So in my 20s, I had my girls very young. I had 2 girls by the time I was 23. So I didn't graduate high school, hopped right into esthetician school, became an entrepreneur, got married at 20. I mean, I was all the things that are literally stacking you up for failure almost. But I realized that I was stacking myself up for success if I continue to just like believe in myself. And I was just listening to an Ed Milet podcast where he was just kind of talking about the relationship you have with your failures and the relationship you have with rejection. And so the fact that I kind of felt rejected a little bit from like, you know, family situations to friends because I had kids so young, just pushed me so hard to be able to bless others and do what I know I was meant to do.
The faith manipulation is already real. That is also true for Britty. If you see any of her content, faith manipulation at its best. And that is always upsetting to see. MLMs, in my opinion, are cults, and religion can also be a cult, especially if you utilize that to invite people into your financial cult. Now, not everybody who is religious is very culty or has to be very culty, but faith manipulation in MLMs is really, really big. And I would argue because it is easier to recruit people who also have a certain religious belief into your sketchy MLM when they already believe that God wanted them to do this. So your life, or whatever you do in your life, God wanted you to do this. I think it's an easy way out. I do understand if she says, hey, the family business was not for me, I'm kind of the black sheep, but I stood my ground and I did what I wanted to do. But it is not necessarily, in my opinion, God's will for you to not have a high school or a school diploma of whatever way to set yourself up for business success in the future, whether you have children at a young age, whether you get married at a young age. And yes, to have 2 children at 23 and to be married at 20, I think that is quite early. But I would argue in that case, maybe it is important to not be selfish, to take a step back and to really do what is financially and stability-wise the best for you and your children. You're not just responsible for yourself anymore. And a 9-to-5 job or a family business is not for everybody, but it could be a good starting point to make some money and to finance the lives that now depend on you. So I find that rather negligent to say, well, I didn't finish high school. She didn't promote it as something positive, but it's okay to finish school and to take it from there. And I completely understand why her life in her 20s was probably tiresome and exhausting, because working as an esthetician, you are independently contracted, or in a way you're running your own business there, but you're still catering to people. You're catering to your potential customers, to your potential clients. And especially if you don't already have a pool of clients that regularly come to see you, you will have to cater to them. And doing that with 2 small children at an early age, at a young age, sounds way more exhausting than working part-time at a corporate job, at a 9-to-5 job, or at a family business to me.
So when I was 25, I was kind of over just working, like, you know, as an esthetician, like doing facials and all that type of stuff, because it truly isn't entrepreneurship when you still have to clock in and when you're only making money while you're working. I knew there had to be more for me, and I knew I did not want to be away from my kids. So that's why at 25, and I'm 35 now, I've been in this industry for 10 years, you guys, I'm old. I joined my first direct sales company because I saw the vision and the future, the dreams and the goals of where I wanted to go when it came to being an entrepreneur. And this industry has that. And that's why I've always had like such belief behind what we do, because it's going to be a constant for the rest of our lives for where we're going for social media. And so I jumped all in, but my business that I had to carry inventory. And it was very niche down to specific type of people that could buy and support from me. So my grandpa couldn't buy from me, my dad, right? It had to be a specific type of person that was looking for what I had. And so I did that for about 4, almost 5 years, and I was very successful. I loved it. But in reality, I was kind of building myself into debt, and I started to carry an overhead because of the inventory. And so I always look at my past as like stepping stones to my future. And And Mylette was kind of saying this morning, like, we always have objections that come and we always link it to a past story. And those past stories don't always have to be failures where you don't try the next thing. It could be that you want to take that past story and use it for good, right? So the past company I was with, love. The past, like, you know, entrepreneur things that I did that weren't successful, that failed, I still love that that's a part of my story because it helped guide me to find Monat. So I jumped in like a year. I took a year off of literally anything. And I was kind of looking into other industries. I was still trying to figure out my life. And then I was using Monat and I was like, okay, like, I love the products. They're working for me. My hair was like garbage. So like, if anything could fix what I'm doing, and I'm an esthetician, so I was getting the big pump bottle, salon brand, all the things. Nothing was working for me. So I'm like, I'm just going to get out of my own way, try these products and see what happens. And I believed in them so quickly because I've never had my hair feel that way. And then they came out with skincare and I was like, okay, if their skincare is as good as their hair care, I'll do this. And so it was. And I jumped in March of 2020 and the whole world shut down like 2 weeks after I joined. And I was just like laughing at God, like, this is ridiculous. Like, what was your plan for me? What was your purpose? And I just remember him saying, like, your plan A is going to turn into your plan B right now. And I'm like, but I don't have a plan B. Like, I'm such an extrovert. I want to get out there. I want to talk to people. I want to make people feel beautiful. I used to dress people in clothes. They would come over and I would style them. Like, my extrovertedness could not handle that I had to be home to build a business. But I think truly behind all of that, it opened my eyes to see, you know, how much social media can impact people and how much we can grow in a platform that we know nothing about. My platform that I built to be a director, or in my Cadillac, was not the cutest. It wasn't prettiest. It wasn't pleasing. But I knew that I was touching the people's lives who aren't pretty, perfect, or pleasing. And that's kind of what I built my business off of, is the imperfections of who I was. And so through those ways, I have learned how to help others who don't feel that comfortable yet or grow in certain ways of discomfort in their lives. And it's truly been like such a blessing to me to be able to, like, you know, hang out with you and go on these trips and do things out of the norm when reality could have pushed me down so hard into being someone who, like, I could have just lived up to, right? The young mom, or, you know, the beauty school girl, or anything like that. And I'm only 35. Like, I feel old, but I also feel young. I mean, I have a 14-year-old, so I'm like an old mom, but I just look at where I'm heading in my journey, and I know that the self-confidence I have and the self-worth that I feel is all because I didn't allow my past to, like, dictate where I'm going.
She has quite the resume when it comes to multi-level marketing companies. And multi-level marketing companies are dangerous for people who join, no matter what, whether they carry inventory, as her previous one did, or not, like Monat. Holding inventory means that you have to buy the products from the MLM, from the company, and then you yourself have to sell them to other retail customers. LuLaRoe is a great example. Lots of people who joined LuLaRoe have clothing over clothing over clothing in their homes, and they're not able to get rid of that. Or Paparazzi, where you have to buy the products and then sell them. Or Mary Kay, where you have to buy the products to then sell them to others. Monat doesn't operate in that way. You have a link, you can advise people to take a look at the website, and then they can purchase the products if they're interested in them on the website. And you don't have to buy the products to then sell those to the retail customers. But across all MLMs, the vast majority of people are losing money. Whether it is an MLM where you have to hold inventory to then sell it to a customer, or whether you just advise the customer to go onto the website. And why is that? Because multi-level marketing companies are recruitment-based businesses, and that is where the real money lies. It is not really in sales. So if you're not able to recruit a lot of people, then you will put a lot of money into the products that you buy yourself. You're not necessarily required via the compensation plan, or publicly Monat doesn't say you have to buy a lot of products, but you have a certain PV, a certain personal volume goal you have to hit every month. The amount of PV can vary depending on the rank you have hit, but you can achieve your PV goals by you either selling the product to retail customers or by you purchasing the products. So if you're not able to sell enough product to keep a rank or to hit a rank, what will you do? You will very likely purchase the products to keep the rank, to keep a bonus payment, to be able to keep that rank, to be able to rank up even further. And your uplines will also probably encourage you to do so as well, so that you do not drop in the ranks. Just because Monat is not a no inventory MLM doesn't mean that people will not spend and lose a lot of money on the products. What I also find sad is that her conclusion was, okay, this is something I did. I lost a lot of money in this other MLM, but now I'm going over to Monat because God wants me to. And this is an MLM that doesn't hold any inventory. I find it sad that people are venturing from one MLM to another and they don't see that they're caught in a predatory system, or they understand it's a predatory system, but they need to make the system work for them to prey on others. That is a conclusion that I cannot get my head around, because I'm sure that God doesn't want anybody to join a multi-level marketing company, any predatory system, any scam, and God doesn't want people to scam others.
And I think that that's so important to do in this line of work and honestly in our lives. So that's kind of a little bit of me.
I love that. As I'm listening to your story, I'm like, oh my gosh, I already knew this, but we have so many things in common.
Yeah.
Getting married at 20, I had Grayson at 23, a young mom, getting married just very young, in love, and super broke, figuring out life together. And I remember, even when you just shared, you were in this different business with inventory. And when we hear about people who go, oh, well, you have to buy product with Monat, or you do have inventory, or you need, it's mind-boggling, right? Because you're like, no. Because you actually were in a company where it really was required. There is no requirement with our company. So share really quickly before I share my story, a little bit just about that, like where there's this misconception where people just truly don't understand how good it is here.
Right. And there's always misconceptions, I feel like, behind every journey that you're going to take, or every opportunity that you're looking to kind of be a part of. And that's why it's so important to dive in with people who you feel like is trustworthy and have the belief behind. And for me, I had to buy inventory. I was in a rat race. I was literally just consistently buying inventory, and I got into $30,000 worth of debt because I had to stay relevant in that type of business. When you do carry inventory, you want what's fresh, what's new. But with Monat, you truly don't have any inventory at all. And that spoke to me so much, because my other business, I had to pay $5,000 to get in, and that was the inventory that I couldn't wear because that's taking retail cost. Where with Monat, I truly don't have any inventory whatsoever. I don't have to carry anything like that. I buy the products that I use, love, and then in turn it helps benefit me to be able to share the products that I use and love. So in reality, you don't have a back stock, you have nothing. You just have products that you're using on yourself, you're loving, you're figuring out, oh my gosh, all of these could work for every individual in my family. And then I come in contact with someone who has the similar hair type to my daughter. So it's worth it to kind of have products to try out, to test, because the testimony of what you have behind what you're selling is so important. So no inventory here. I would never do that again.
No inventory here, but I have a lot of product at home for myself and for my daughter, for people who come over, that I can also show them how amazing the products are. No, Monat distributors are the best customers. And I have reacted to an Instagram live from Lindsay before, because it was a really weird hair washing party. And she used, in a live that was 15 or 16 minutes long, she used 7 products on a person that she was doing a hair washing on. That is ridiculous. And then afterwards, she styled that person's hair. I didn't take a look at the styling part, but I'm pretty sure that more products were added there. She used 7 products within a short period of time that she had bought for herself to show at the hair washing party and to showcase on social media. 7 Monat products is hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And while that is not holding inventory, you will have a truckload of Monat products at home when you are a Monat distributor. 7 products. She had a scalp treatment. She had 2 different types of shampoo. She had 2 different types of hair mask, another bogus product, another one she advised on. And we're not even talking about the bestseller, and that is the Rejuvenique oil, which I'm pretty sure had to come out during the styling part of that Instagram. And that is why people in Monat also lose money, because they have to purchase a lot of products, either to hit their personal volume goals, although it is not officially required, or because they have to hold a lot of products at home that is not considered inventory, but you have to use them. You have to use the products to show what they do to your hair to attract more people. And she says that she was in a rat race in the other MLM that held inventory. Monat is just as much a rat race, because at the end of every month, all of the goals that you have to fulfill according to the compensation plan, according to your rank, they reset. You start out at 0. You have to have a certain amount of people on your team. You have to hit a certain personal volume that you can sell or purchase, group volume, downline volume, structure requirements that certain people on your team also need to hit certain ranks. That is a rat race as well.
Yes, I mean, there's so many perks and benefits to joining this company that we can go over quickly, but a little bit, even when you were talking about how you grew up in a household where you laid that foundation for becoming an entrepreneur, you kind of always had that inside of you. That's the same thing with me. I grew up with a dad that is a financial advisor, and he, from the time I was a little girl, even to this day, has constantly talked to us about working hard, going after our dreams, pursuing, the American dream, and putting yourself out there, trying and failing and trying again, coming up with creative businesses to put out there. And so those are, and also creating a legacy of wealth for your family. And how can you do that? So these are all the things that I've been instilled within myself from my family. And so when I first got started, with my first job, I started at Mimi's Cafe. There's a point to this story. Started at Mimi's Cafe. They were paying back then, I think it was like $7 something. I don't remember. It was so long ago, right? And I was a hostess. So that was my first job. I might have been like 16. And then from there, I thought, okay, what is the next thing that I can do that's going to pay me a little bit more? And it was In-N-Out, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to bump over to In-N-Out because they paid $8.25 back in the day. They pay more than being a Mimi's hostess. So I joined In-N-Out because they're, like the best on the planet, right? So I was there. And then after In-N-Out, I was like, okay, I've hit this. Now what can I do that's going to make me a little bit more? And I joined and I started becoming, I was a sales rep for Nordstrom. I worked in brass plum shoe department. And that taught me a ton about sales, putting yourself out there, being able to talk to people, being able to share a product, all of these things. But I got paid more. And then from there, I joined. I was like, what can I do now? And I was like, okay, I'm going to become a real estate agent. That didn't really work out that well for me. But the point of the story is I was constantly always looking for that next best thing that was going to pay me more until I found Monat.
Mm-hmm.
That does not make you an entrepreneur, though. That does not make you a boss babe, because you're looking for a new job that makes you more money, especially if you're a teenager or a young mother. At that stage in your life, no offense, if you were a teenager or in your early 20s, you very likely didn't even have an actual job, an actual good job, where you can utilize your experience that comes with time. And it sucks for sure if you're younger and you want to do things and you don't have money for that, but to work as a hostess and then to work at a burger shop and then work as a retail salesperson for Nordstrom, that means that you're looking for a new job that actually pays you a salary. At the end of the day, you know how much money you've made. At the end of the week, at the end of the month, you know how much money you've made. That just means you're looking around. That doesn't make you an entrepreneur. You're also not an entrepreneur when you join Monat. You're an independently contracted salesperson. And this coming from 2 people that come allegedly from families of entrepreneurs. I myself also come from a family of entrepreneurs. If you come from an actual family of entrepreneurs, wouldn't they be super disappointed? You're an independently contracted salesperson. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But to sell what you're doing as entrepreneurship, being the CEO of your small company, being the boss babe of your own inspirational vegan best hair care shampoo business in the world. Isn't that disappointing when you come from a family or when you have family members or friends that are actual entrepreneurs? Just to say it really, really clearly, once again, you're not an entrepreneur when you join a multi-level marketing company. It is a PR tactic. It's a tool for people who are in multi-level marketing companies to make what they do sound so much better than it is. When you are in Monat, you join an existing business as an independently contracted salesperson with no benefits, with no guaranteed pay, but with all of the expenses. That is not entrepreneurship.
I have been in this industry now in this company for a little over 6 years, and not one time have I ever said, where can I go now that's going to pay me more? Because this industry, this company, there is no cap. The sky is the limit, and you can truly produce whatever income that you want, and it can be astronomical, it could be small, it could be anything that you want it to be. And that is the beauty of this business, is that you don't have a cap. You will not ever be capped out. My husband was a Los Angeles City Fire Department before he was able to retire and come home through this job.
Yes.
Okay. She is really pulling this lie out in every life that she does. That is amazing. Her husband did not stop working as a firefighter for the city of Los Angeles and is now retired thanks to her job. Her husband worked as a firefighter for the city of Los Angeles. He refused to get the necessary vaccination, and that is why he had to quit. Because otherwise he would have gotten fired. That's a completely different story, and that is a pile of lies that this individual likes to spew ever so often. It's not true. She wasn't able to retire her husband thanks to Monat. Her husband would have gotten fired. That's why he quit. That's the story. And then how ironic with Monat tanking. Are you sure you're not looking around for another MLM, for another opportunity? With people who are in multi-level marketing companies who are considered leaders, let's face it, it is really, really hard for them to leave a multi-level marketing company to go to a new one and try to take as many people with them to the new company. There are certain companies like Q Sciences, allegedly, that do bridge contracts, and lots of Monat leaders have left there. But you could very well be sued and be in severe legal trouble with Monat if you do that, because you're not allowed to cross-recruit. So you cannot just stop, go to a new MLM and take your downline with you. And I would argue with Monat being in this really severely difficult situation, they probably have a very close eye on their leader and make sure that they cannot just leave. I wouldn't be surprised, and that's just really me thinking out loud, if some of these people have been, in a way, been threatened by Monat to not leave, because then Monat would crumble even more. If you are a leader and you have a lot of people, the company will probably do what they can to keep you, especially if they're in such severe condition as Monat is in right now. I have no proof for this. This is just me speculating, but it is typical for MLMs that MLMs will sue their leaders if they leave to a new company. The new MLM, that is what I've heard, will very likely cover the legal fees, the legal cost. But with Monat being so desperate, you don't know what they're doing next. So in a way, these top leaders, these top people, they're also caught in the company. Whatever you do is wrong. If you stay there, it's wrong because your paycheck is tanking. And if you're leaving, it might also be wrong because Monat could sue your ass.
But there was only so much that he was ever going to make, no matter how hard he worked, no matter how many overtime shifts he worked, right? He took on. There was going to become a point where he had a cap, even as if he got to the highest position in the department of captain or chief,
right?
He would only make so much money. Now, not saying that's bad. Everyone needs their own thing. But if you don't want to ever be capped out, you have to find something where there is no cap. Mm-hmm. Or you have to have another stream of income. And that's the millionaire mindset of having multiple streams of revenue, having different incomes coming in. And this is one of them. So this business has completely changed my life. I was never a true skeptic of direct sales, but I was a little bit prideful where I was like, that is not for me. I don't want to be that girl. I can do something totally different, and like just a little bit of pride, right? Like not going on my social media and sharing this until I realized everything I wanted for myself, for my family, was all within this business.
Yep.
I said, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I have my little kids. Okay, so what do you do when you don't want to go to a 9 to 5? You have to find something that you can do from home or work from any location, right? I didn't want to have to report in to someone at a clock in, clock out, or even at home, right? I didn't want to work on anyone else's terms but my own. I wanted to be able to make as much money as I wanted to make. I wanted to be able to work really hard, but if my kids came running in and they're crying and something happened, I can immediately stop, pause, and be completely present. And maybe we need to take the rest of the day off because there's an issue going on that I need to talk. I need to be there for my kids, right? That's the most important thing.
Let's talk about this myth of there's no income cap and time freedom to take care of my kids whenever I need to. While in theory there is no cap on Monat's compensation plan, there is a cap. Let me advise you once again that these two people have over 60,000 followers on Instagram. They even made an announcement before this call that they're going live on Britty's Instagram. And at the moment we have 15 people watching this, including myself, screen recording this to then react to this video. Tops, we had 35 to 37 people on this call. All of these people define your income. If these people do not want to join your downline, if they are a part of your downline, if they were a part of your downline and they have left, they're responsible for the cap on your income. While in theory you could make as many millions and millions as you want in a year, you're not choosing how much money you make. Your downline does. And some of the small sales, the shampoo that the company also allegedly sells, that's also accounted into this. But there is very well a cap. You can only recruit that many people. People are aware that Monat is a multi-level marketing company, but if you are able to recruit 5 people who recruit 5 people who recruit 5 people, in theory, you would out-recruit the amount of people that are on this earth. I think it was the numbers, 5 people, 15 cycles. So there is a cap on your income because there's a cap on recruitment. And in addition to that, you have no control over your downline. If they're leaving, your paycheck is tanking. While it sounds nice that there is no income cap, there actually is. There always is. And you are not in control of your paycheck, especially being on an Instagram Live with tops 37 people. And let's talk about time freedom. That is also something that sounds nice. While you have more flexibility if you're independently contracted, if you work as a freelancer, or if you work from home when you have a regular job, you're not bound to go into the office from 9 to 5. That is true. But let's face it, there are so many jobs available where you can work from home through the day. You can go to a doctor's appointment, you can run errands, you can take care of your kids. This is a complete myth and a complete lie. If you ever search YouTube videos, team calls, opportunity calls, how many times have you on these calls seen children trying to grab their parents' attention, but they cannot because they're on this call now? Children playing with their parents' phones while they're on the call, and the parents don't even realize that. You are not a more present person because you're able to stay at home with your kid. And you're also not able to let everything fall if you have to because you need to do something together with your children. I mean, hopefully that is the case in case of an emergency. But just because you have more freedom doesn't mean that you have actual time freedom, because you have to cater to the people that might potentially join your downline, to the people that want to leave your downline, to potential customers. You will very likely have to cater to the time of other people, and while you might have more freedom to arrange the tasks in a day rather than a person that works in a 9 to 5 job, that doesn't mean that you have time freedom. That is just another PR tool, like telling people you're an entrepreneur when you join Monat. You have time freedom, and there is no income cap. All of these are PR tools, and if we take just a little bit of a closer look, all of this crumbles. No freedom in Monat. And while I say that, no freedom for Monat, it gets really, really dark out, and it starts to rain and to thunder, and there's lightning. So, okay, Monat, you're not scaring me.
And so I'm like, where does this exist? What job is this? And I didn't have enough money to start a whole company of my own, right?
Right.
Marketing and branding and products and all the things. So what could I do? And everything directed me to direct sales. And that's when I let my pride go and I said, okay, you know what? I see all these other people becoming super successful. I see them making an income that is helping their families, that is lifting that financial burden off of them, releasing that stress off of them.
I'm stopping again. This pitch sucks. You're not prideful because you don't want to join a multi-level marketing company. You see what you have to do. You probably realize that you don't want to do it and you don't join a direct sales company. That is not you being prideful. That means that you've done your research and you're actually doing a smart choice. I mean, come on. And what is this bogus claim? I didn't have enough money. I wasn't able to open my own company. That is why naturally the only choice I had was to join a direct sales company. What the frick? Maybe that's a sign. Maybe you shouldn't open up anything at that time if you don't have the money. Make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into, what kind of entrepreneur you want to be, save your money and then take it from there. But then the only option for you, the only alternative for you was to join a scam, to recruit people into that scam so that that scam works for you. Great. It's thundering outside, okay, Monat? I will finish this video, and if I sit here in the dark.
And if they can do it, I can do it. And from that point in, I said, what the heck? You know, what is the worst that is going to happen? And I really did have to have that, like, come to Jesus moment of, okay, well, if I post on my social media and everyone thinks I'm annoying and no one purchases from me and I'm a total flop and a total fail, what is the worst that's going to happen?
Right.
And there was nothing. My husband was still going to love me. I still have my home. My kids are still here. Everything that means anything to me in life is the same. Other than maybe my follower count went down, and no one really cares about that at the end of the day, right?
Right.
So that totally, when I had that come to Jesus moment of what the heck, let's try it, let's see what happens. I jumped in, I fully immersed myself in this industry and what it means to become an entrepreneur in direct sales. And it has completely transformed and changed our lives forever. Forever. Like I said, my husband no longer has to pick up those overtime shifts. My husband no longer is gone overnight. He is home every single night with us. He is having dinners, breakfast, lunch, everything with our family. He is fully immersed with our kids. Now, not everybody wants that, right? I joke about it because I do have friends that are like, that is not my dream. But to have the flexibility, have your husband home more, or whatever your dream is, whatever your why is, that can happen through this business. And that is what we kind of want to share with you today.
Her husband would have been home anyways because he didn't get the necessary vaccination for being a firefighter in the city of Los Angeles. So he would have been home anyways for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is, once again, a lie they're running with. And it is mind-baffling that a lot of people in Monat don't get it, they don't see it, they still continue with this lie. Monat did not bring her husband home. Her husband would have been home anyways, because he didn't fulfill the requirements to be with the city of Los Angeles. He wouldn't have any night shifts anyways. He would have been at home. Congratulations. What bothers me always is this pitch. What do you have to lose? Just purchase the starter pack, and maybe people find me annoying online. In the end, the things that matter to me the most, they remain the same. So what is the worst that can happen? Nothing. And I disagree with that. Because if you try to make multi-level marketing work for you, you will very likely look like a fool on social media. You will have to pitch to family and friends. People might not want to connect with you. You will have to put a lot of money into this. So you could lose a lot of money. You could lose a lot of time. You could lose yourself, and you could lose valuable time pursuing an actual career and an actual job. She will not be able to ever do this, in my opinion, because she is caught in the MLM world. What are her opportunities to make enough money in Monat and then to try to invest that money and run another business on the side? But this person is non-employable, whether she wants it or not, because she has a 6-year gap in her CV, or she would have to mention multi-level marketing. That is not a career driver. That is how you drown your career if if you ever need to go back to doing an actual job. So you can lose a lot more than just nothing.
Yeah.
Really quick, Linz, do you want to go through just what makes Monat a little bit different before we wrap this up? And I can kind of
For sure.
bounce off of
Sure. So when I was kind of looking into the next company that I wanted to be a part of, to partner with, to kind of, like Brittany said, have it to be my future business, not just, I don't want to be like a hopper around. Like, I wanted to find something that I was going to grow with, and not only that, have and believe that other people could do it alongside with me. I had to make sure that the next product that I was going to be a part of or whatever sell had to be a consumable product. It just makes more sense because the last product I sold was clothing. And so it wasn't consumable. It wasn't something that could wash down the drain and people need more of. And it wasn't a necessity like the last thing that I sold, but Monat is a necessity. It's something that everybody repurchases and gets and repurchases and gets.
Ma'am, you were selling clothes before. Those are very consumable products. Monat products are not more consumable because people wash their hair. Monat products are products that in theory a lot of people use. But who needs a shampoo and conditioner and hair masks and hair oils that cost $30, $40, $50, $100? Monat products are not more consumable than clothing. What?
And the cool part about it being a necessity, it's not a lifestyle change. Like, it's truly just a swap of product. So, it being, a necessity, consumable. And then I also was kind of figuring out the timing behind the business, because understanding and working with my other company from the garage of it being built to $1 billion company, I watched the transition of a baby company truly be an MLM, a network marketing company, to $1 billion companies, which can happen. It's not common. And I kind of was looking at that and looking for the future of my next company I wanted to be a part of for the timing. Because baby companies still have, baby problems, right? They have a lot going on, but then also.
I wanted to type something in the live, but I was a little bit tipsy and I forgot what I wanted to type. That's the weird pop-up there. That's on me.
The ones that have been around for 100 years don't always mean it's the best. So it's truly kind of like where your heart is and where you're finding and how much you're kind of looking into different ways that the businesses are working. I found what I wanted through Monat. So the timing was there. And then also the second that I joined in, I felt like the community was truly a huge part of what I was missing with my other company. And also the year I took off, my son was 8 months when I joined Monat. And so the community that I found was like no other. And I know that we have that amongst our team. It is truly such a special team when it comes to community. And then the last thing that I really, really wanted to make sure, and you kind of touched on this a little bit, was like the comp plan. Is it paying you for your time? And I knew I needed that with 3 kids and my husband who's in sales and all the things. Like, we know that we want to make sure that we are paid for our time.
Absolutely not. If you want to be paid for your time, you do not join a multi-level marketing company. If you want to be paid for the time that you exchange for money, then you have to get a regular job. If you have a regular, schmegular 9-to-5 corporate job, you get paid a fixed payment for the time and for the effort that you spend on that job. Maybe she just didn't understand direct sales, and that is why she joined a multi-level marketing company, or rather many of those. Just get a regular job. That is when you get compensated. If you take a look at Monat's compensation plan, you will see that you have to sell products, buy products, or recruit enough people. Then you are able to be compensated. If you're not able to sell, if you're not able to recruit, you will not see money. So the time that you spend on that is time you spend for free in Monat, unless you're able to sell a product or recruit someone.
We have that limitless ability to create our future. So I think those were kind of the core reasons why I particularly joined Monat, why I looked into certain things, and why I kind of had to have an open mind to my next business venture. And truly, it has been such a gift and a blessing to be able to like be a part of it, but to like step back, evaluate, see. So Monat's always been a constant in my life. So
yes. And then last but not least, how Lindsay had touched on earlier that we have a wide open market. And I was in another direct sales company as well prior to starting Monat, and it was my first company that I really tried with. It was about 6 months, and it was good. I still use some of their products to this day, so 6 years worth of using their products, and I really truly love them. But the business, I was very ignorant and naive to direct sales because I had never done it before.
Right.
I did it. And like how Lindsay said, my next company, I had to look in and see, does it meet these requirements? And that's exactly what I did as well when I came to Monat, because I was in this company and I went, whoa, 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 why is this so hard? Like, why are there so many road bumps? Why are there so many roadblocks? And it's because when you choose a company, maybe that their product isn't a necessity. It's a little harder to sell. If it's not consumable, you're going to be selling a lot of that same thing over and over.
Right.
It's like right? If you sell this, if I sold this necklace to you, right, I would have to now go find another person to sell it to. And,
Exactly.
and then I'm tapped out. I got to go find 1 million people. Where you can have a strong VIP base of customers that are loyal and love it and are obsessed just as much as we are, and you are good because they are continuously buying from you. So and the fact that we have a wide open market, you can sell it to your grandpa, your cousin,
100%.
your kids, the dog, whatever, right? It is a household brand that everyone can be using within your family. And those are the things that alleviate those roadblocks.
That is bogus yet again. First of all, the market for Monat is not wide open. Over 50% of Monat distributors have left in a period of a little bit over a year, although Monat is opening themselves up in new countries, in new territories. And they're really upping the speed of doing so. The last country they launched was in France. I'm pretty sure in September they will announce a new territory. Last year, we had the same story. They launched in New Zealand. They launched in Australia. Typically, in September, around their annual conference, they announce that they open the market up to a new territory for Monat. Now they're doing that twice a year, but they're still losing distributors. The market for Monat is shrinking, although they're opening the company up in other territories. Monat is not a great business opportunity. Monat is really closing down, and these people are desperate to really pitch this to their audience because their paychecks are tanking. Monat products are not more consumable than other products in MLMs. They might be a little bit easier to sell than Kangen water filters, for example. When we take a look at the actual product and the price point, absolutely. But who needs $30, $40 shampoo and a hair oil that costs $100? Nobody does. Yes, most people wash their hair. Yes, most people wash their face, but you do not need to use overpriced products to do so. And you will not return to Monat to purchase those over and over again. That is once again a PR tool and a big fat lie.
Right.
Now, when you jump into a business like this, it's going to take work and consistency, and it's going to take learning the skill. But when you choose a company that removes some of those roadblocks, it makes it so much more fun and so much easier than if you are in a company like that. And that is what I learned. So when you're looking into a business, I hope that you ask yourself those questions before joining, because it is a business decision. If you want to join a business, figure out what those requirements are. We're telling you right now, we figured out the secret sauce, and it's points.
Hello. Me again, pausing again. That is bogus yet again. Why? Because these people did not rise to the top ranks in the company because they were able to sell enough shampoo to enough VIP customers. If you want to rank up in Monat just once, you need to recruit 2 people. And the higher you rise in the ranks, the more people you need, and the more these people have to fulfill when it comes to the downline volume and the group volume. You're not just selling shampoo or products from Monat to VIP customers and you're good to go. The financial success these women might have had over the past couple of years is not because of selling shampoo and because of VIP customers. It's because of them being able to build a big enough downline to keep the people on their team for long enough. And that is why they were able to benefit off of these people's purchases and efforts. Not because of selling.
And if you have any other questions, message myself or Lindsay, we would absolutely love to help you.
Yay! Thanks for chatting with me, Brittany.
Okay, Twinsy, I cannot believe this.
I know, so cute.
Of course, I would absolutely love it if you messaged them, because that is how they make money. And their teams are apparently crumbling. Monat is crumbling. Monat is a recruitment-based business, and that is why they would love it if you would reach out to them. And commenting on the bumper thingy, bejizzle, yeah, professional term, Monat is not removing roadblocks or bumps in the way. Monat is setting up so many bumps along the way so that Monat as a company can make a lot of money, but you as the distributor will have a hard time to hit your goals, and only very few people are able to rise in the ranks and to the top. Why do you have to have people on your team? Just for starters, if you want to rank up. Why do those people then also have to recruit people? Why do you have to fulfill personal volume requirements, group volume requirements, downline requirements, structure requirements every single month? And why do those goals always start again the next month? Why does the clock reset in Monat every single month? Monat is not removing any bumpers for you. Just because Monat sells products that at the surface might look like they're consumable products doesn't mean that it removes bumps in your road. Just because Monat doesn't require for you to hold inventory doesn't mean that it's a better option than other companies. Monat is tanking. Monat reps are leaving the company. They're leaving multi-level marketing in general for various reasons. They're leaving with their teams to other multi-level marketing companies because they hope that they will be able to make more money there. Once again, off of the efforts of the people in their downline. Monat is not a great business opportunity. Monat's shampoo will not open your world to financial freedom, building a legacy, and bringing your husband home from his dangerous job as a firefighter in Los Angeles. That is a bunch of lies, and that is a bunch of lies that these people have to tell you. Because even these people who are at the top rank of the company, they can tell that the money they make every month is not what it was before. If Monat distributors have been cut by half, I can only assume that their paycheck probably also has been cut into half. And once again, these two women have over 60,000 subscribers combined on Instagram, and they're on a live where tops 37 people watch them, trying to inspire them to purchase products, reach out to them, and to recruit them. That is what Monat reality looks like at the moment, in my opinion. Not even the people who are at the very tippity top, who have a good amount of followers on social media, are safe and have to be on Instagram Live to spread these bogus lies to keep the money coming in, or at least a certain portion of the money that they're used to coming in. So in my opinion, don't join Monat, don't join an MLM, but specifically do not join Monat, because Monat is tanking. So that was two MLM leaders in the multi-level marketing company Monat, trying to tell us why Monat is so special, why you should join their downline, why you should join multi-level marketing, why you should join Monat. And I'm here to tell you why you shouldn't join. If you like these types of videos, please consider subscribing. If you like this specific one, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to let me know something, please feel free to do so in the comment section down below. And if you like these types of videos, then hopefully I will see you in my next one. Until then, cheers!